The hearings have ended, but the signs are clear. All this is far from over.
The whole world now knows she is completely innocent.
The claims by Lucy Letby's supporters had been a de facto no-go area at the public inquiry, dismissed as noise. But there have been increasing questions about the evidence at the trial, where Lucy Letby was found guilty and jailed for the rest of her life for murdering babies. After 2 failed appeals, Lucy Letby is still guilty. But now the CCRC is looking at her case, leading to calls for the public inquiry to be paused.
To do nothing leaves the inquiry in danger of being seen as ignoring the reality of what is happening outside of its doors, thereby ignoring the risk that the terms of reference for this inquiry might unravel.
That request, though, for this process to be paused was today rejected.
The application is refused.
As the senior Court of Appeal judge, Lady Justice Thirlwell, ruled, the inquiry she's chairing will go on.
And we'll now move on to the next phase, which for me is the writing of the report. That's my responsibility, and I'll begin that work in earnest tomorrow.
The arguments that we've been hearing this week at the inquiry, the claims that carrying on with this process would be unfair, that's been coming from the lawyers acting for the senior managers who have been heavily criticised, who were running the Countess of Chester while Lucy Letby was working there. But they're not the only ones who've been arguing for this inquiry to be paused. There have been similar calls from the MP, David Davis. At a press conference arranged by Lucy Letby's defence team last month, the politician appeared alongside medical experts who claim the murders Lucy Letby was found guilty of weren't actually murders, a claim opposed and condemned by lawyers acting for the families of the babies as they argued against the former hospital execs at the inquiry this week.
They appear to have lived in, and to still be living in, an alternate and internally contradictory reality. One where no murders and attempted murders occurred, or if they did, the executives did everything reasonably in their power to protect patient safety, and it wasn't their fault because no one else told them or stopped them from happening. This is arrogant, self-serving fantasy.
Whatever side of the debate people are on, people should remember that the dead and harmed are not public property to be dissected on television or on the internet. People are entitled to hold opinions, but should bear in mind the subject matter of what they talk about.
The children and their families. It was their calls for a public inquiry and for change to stop the ways they were failed being repeated that led us to this point. But too often, it's said, forgotten.